Please stay with us. Welcome back. The program is the business today, and today we're taking a look at the pharmacy in Nigeria and have my guest to do the justice to it. I have former chairman of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria here in Ondo State, and also a fellow of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Mr. Abiodun Ayeko. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much, sir.
Let's take a look at this issue of the pharmacy. What would you say brought about this idea?
Yeah, the pharmacy was a concept that was grown out of need of necessity. Before now, most pharmaceutical companies are involved in individual manufacturing, and they provide all what they need: power, electric source, whatever, electricity, water, as the case may be. The concept of pharmacy is, as you have mentioned, a compact design that has enabled all different pharmaceutical companies assembly in a particular park to work on building a situation whereby we have drugs that will be affordable for all. The concept of pharmacy is actually meant to make our drug affordable and competitive in the international market.
Let's take a look at the system before this idea of this pharmacy. What would you say had been the challenges of the pharmacy system? We are individuals who also do it on their own.
The pharmacy, before now, it's still the situation now, because the pharmacy is a concept that is still growing and is still trying to put itself together. We have a situation whereby majority of the drugs are imported, and less than 20% or so of drugs manufactured in this country are not even enough to take care of the populace of the country. And because they are all involved in individual manufacturing, no support system from one another, we have a situation whereby we have price of drug very high that cannot come, that will very high, that is if beyond the expectation of the common man, the street, and of course it cannot compete globally with other drugs from other advanced countries of the world.
Is it because of the price that made it not to be able to compete globally?
Yes, several factors are responsible. Number one, power. The issue of power. You have to generate power by yourself, and we have a situation whereby all of us know the price of diesels in the market now. So you have to put that into the cost of production by the time you are selling. That is number one factor. The second factor has to do with the issue of foreign exchange, because some of the active pharmaceutical components are not sourced locally. You have to get or import those active pharmaceutical ingredients in the process of manufacturing. So, and in sourcing for core forests, it also makes the price of the local manufacturing product escalate. Those are some of the factors that are mainly responsible, amongst other ones.
So we also hope that this pharmacy or pharma part will address all these
problems. Yes, certainly the pharma part will address all these various problems.
In my intro, we also said that 70% of the drugs that we also consume in Nigeria are imported.
Yes, you are right. If not more.
We don't say that when we have this pharmacy in place, then we'll be able to produce enough to take care of our local need.
Certainly, if we have the pharma park and the pharmacy in place, because there will be specialization in the manufacturing. When there's specialization, you get this ops that will be dwelling more on the active pharmaceutical product, and there will be special in even those that manufacture antibiotics, anti-infectives, antihypertensives, and all the likes of other drugs. So certainly, because there's shared responsibility in carrying out the manufacturing process, the price will certainly go down.
So let's take a look at the fact that if the idea has also started, would you say that we also have this pharmacy in some states of Nigeria?
Yes, the concept is to have the pharmacy in, if not all parts of the state of the federation, majority of the states. concept is to have it, because when we have such volumes of companies, it will not only help us, not just in sufficiency in drug for the nation, it also help us in exports, which could be also a good source of revenue for the country, as far as foreign exchange is concerned.
No, I'm asking if the idea has also started to germinate in some of the states.
Yes, certainly. We have, it has started in Ebonyi State, whereby the former governor, David Umahi, gave the conglomerate, that is the Boom Public Health and National Association of Industrial Pharmacists, in collaboration with Ebonyi State, donating 100 acres of land. Not just donating it, issued a C of O. And of recent too, in Anambra State, the present governor, Soludo, also launched it, I think, not more than 3 or 4 months ago. They launched it, and over that, I think that is about 220 acres of land that was given for such project too. So it has taken off, and in Kano State, it's about to start too. I think they have got advanced stage in allocating the land, but after that, as I said, there's need for also for issuance of C of O and the support mechanism from the government for the construction to start. So it has taken off in some states of the federation.
So what about Ondo State?
Well, I know in the last the particular meeting of National Association of Industrial Pharmacists, which I attended in our last, they asked states to come out with proposals and liaise with their own states to we have not done anything in that area in Ondo State.
We have not done anything here in Ondo State.
Yes, we have not.
Are you also considering the fact that maybe you can also make use of this industrial park that we have in Atore?
Yes, the industrial park in Ore, I don't know much about that park, but there is just as you have mentioned, I'll probably pick 1 or 2 of my colleagues to make a visit to that site or make inquiry to know if that industrial park at Ore could be available, and if it has the capacity to host the said farmer park, because as we need a large span of land to access, to conceptualize and to build. It is because it's going to it's going to accommodate not only the pharmaceutical industry, it's going to also accommodate even banks, it will accommodate schools, hospitals. It's a system, it's an estate on its own, it's a community of its own. So I will make inquiry if that's on a park, industrial park, we're able to accommodate this. And if we can, obviously I will take a position, make a to my national chairman pharmacist Ken Nugbi for a visit. Maybe they can come to Ondo State and make a visit to the state government.
I know quite well that this idea will also be of a great benefit to the people of Ondo State. Well, maybe we just need to also speed up that. Let's quickly take a look at the benefits of this idea. I was also going through that we have this medicine security. What does that mean? Yes,
the medicine security has to do with the availability of essential medicine and making them affordable for the populace of the environment. And for the benefits, as you have said, to Ondo State, the park will bring an enormous benefit to the people of Ondo State. Because thank God the Ondo State government has launched and have started the operation of Ondo State Health and Commodity Management Agency. It will utilize with whereby they can even get drugs even at better and cheaper rates, so that they can have the direct supply from the industry. Of course, they are getting from the industry now, but in this case, because they are in our soil, they are in our land, we can have a better relationship. We can give them specification of what we want, and they will give it to the state.
So we'll also say that this will also address the issue of that we'll also be having in the sector these fake drugs and all of that.
Yes, the supply chain management will not be easily broken if we have the park in the system. The supply chain management will be intact, it won't be subjected to compromise. So the issue of fake drug will be reduced to almost zero if all the industrial park come on board.
as we have a lot of people, so don't you think this can also affect the businesses of operators? If when you have a lot of people doing the same thing in a particular place.
Yes, if we have a lot of people manufacturing, all of them specialized in one area, it will help the business environment. It can make another state a hub of drugs and medicine. If we keen to it early enough, people will come and they will come and invest their money here. Not only that, that can also serve as source of revenue for the state because those companies will pay tax. When they pay tax to the state, it adds to the IGR of the state too. So the coming together of various companies will only boost the economy of the state, and it's not going to, it won't have any negative effect.
And I'm looking at a great advantage of this idea. I don't think it's also important for your association to, as a matter of fact, go into all of this rather than also looking at government for support.
Yes, the association, as you know, is the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria as an association is more of a, call it a professional association, and they are not, though individual members of the association could have such money, but the issue of pharma industry is a big business. It's a very big business, and you can, of course, we all experience it, especially when we have the COVID-19. We can see that it is not a situation, it's not it's a multi-million dollar industry. So it's not an industry that individuals can, even no matter how rich you are, you can always strive. You need support. Apart from the financial support, you also need government support. As I said, the land itself to be approved for such project. Most times, when the government itself to such project, it goes a long way to realization of dream. So the government support is very, very important to give the stakeholder and investors sense of security that the state government is interested in that project.
I ask you that question because if you have a state that is not very disposed to this idea, and I know the idea is lofty, so what happens in that particular state?
Well, if there is a state that is not showing so much support or concern, it might not.
I would have expected the society to take it over.
No, the society cannot take it because it's a multi-billion naira project, and the society is not. It does not have such money. The government they need support from the government, and sometimes NGOs, international donor agencies also support. It's a in fact, we have cases whereby, prominent NGOs, give support to. Of course, you understand during the COVID-19 pandemic, you can see Bill Gates coming into it. He can try to tell you the type of support that the pharma industry can receive. So it is a multi-billion naira project. It's not a project that the pharmaceutical society is alone, and they can only create the expertise, the scientific environment to aid. But we need investors, we need government to join forces to make a lot of difference and change.
I'm just looking at because I know the idea is lofty and it's also will also be beneficial to the people. But let's take a look at this other benefit of it. They said regulatory compliance. Okay, how will that work?
Yes, regulatory compliance has to do with the laid down framework which guides the good manufacturing practices before the product is done and after. The regulatory compliance are tools that regulatory agencies, just like the Pharmacists Council of Nigeria and the the NAFDAC, the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, put in place to make sure that drugs of quality that will not be harmful to the people are manufactured. So those are the regulatory framework that is being talked about.
Okay. So let's digress a bit. Let's take a look at the issue of hard drugs.
Okay.
It's all over. Does it not give your society any concern at all?
It gives the government an headache too. It's a trouble for everybody to solve. It is not just the society. I know at the Ministry of Health level in Ondo State, there's this drug misuse and abuse agency, and they carry out a lot of campaign to various agencies. In fact, there was I think some time ago they were even visiting various secondary schools to make advocacy visits and tell them the dangers of drug abuse and misuse. It has been on, and it's a concern to everybody. And I'm sure it's also a concern to parents. Parents ought to monitor their children. If they see anything that is awkward that the child is doing, they should pay observation to the patient, to their wards and children. So it's a responsibility for all, not just for the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria alone.
I ask you as a practitioner because I also know that your members also produce these hard drugs, especially the one that we also get on the shelf. Should they, in the first place, also produce them?
Yes, the hard drugs, as for some of us to know, are drugs that are manufactured for some specific purpose.
Okay.
For example, if someone have an excruciating pain, maybe from accident or cancer pain, in some cases, there are some drugs which the layman language are drugs, but we can also be termed control drug, which we call control drug. If you visit some various pharmacy, in the hospital and private pharmacy, you will see a cupboard where they call poison cupboard. That is where those hard or control drugs are stored. So those drugs are also meant to make life meaningful for some patients. If someone have a serious accident and a fracture on the bone and things like that, or cancer pain, these drugs helps to alleviate the pain and make them live a reasonable life while they are alive. So some of these drugs are meant for human consumption, and it is not all of them that are harmful as people thought, but it has to be used on recommendation and as prescribed. It must be rationally used, so that
not just go to buy over
just
the
not to buy over the counter. It has to be prescribed and entered into the poison book. We have a book called poison book. You enter it and sign, and give appropriate quantity. You don't give more than is needed, because it could be subjected to abuse at the same time. Because when some people take this drug and they feel that relief, the tendency that they want to go back and buy it on their own is there. So what this drug does is that it helps them to live quality life while they are alive. So it is within our ambit as pharmacists to sell those drugs. To manufacture them and sell it is within an ambit, but it has to be controlled.
That has to be controlled, because that's why you also have the issue. You also know that some of these drugs also find their ways to where they call tarmacs.
Yes, we can't rule out miscreants in the society who will work on the loopholes to get them. But in a same society where regulatory processes are well monitored, such people are always apprehended and punished. Yes, but it might not be exactly the same for this country. But eventually they will still be punished if they are caught. But the truth about it is that we cannot do without those drugs, because they are also meant to make life meaningful for some people.
So as a professional, what do you think could be done to ensure that get to the hands?
As professional, just as I said, the regulatory arms of the profession are there. They also help to monitor and make sure that those drugs are not given in quantity, or they are not dispensed in quantity that they ought not to. And at the same time, when you know the peculiar problem of our country, we have the open market, where things that are not even sold in the pharmacy, if you get to the open market like the Lagos, Jumota and the Onitsha, you find some of these drugs, and they are markets that are not controlled. They are not actually controlled. So maybe when the coordinated, when the new drug distribution guideline is fully implemented, and we have coordinated wholesalers on board. If it's possible, this maintenance will be reduced significantly.
Let's go back to this pharmacy. So when should people from those states be expecting to get a pharmacy?
Thank you. We'll, as I said, I might even call you. We might work on getting to see the park at Ore, if that park could be used, and we'll work in bringing our national, the national expo or from Lagos to come and make a view. If it is okay and compatible to what we want, we'll probably do a letter and go to agreement with the state government to see if we can, something can be, because as we know, Ondo State is actually far behind in the issue of manufacturing of drugs, far behind compared to many other states. So I'm sure it's a lofty and noble idea. We'll look into it if it's possible, and I'm sure the state will key into it, and we'll also will benefit enormously from the park if it is there. And if it is not sustainable, I'm sure the state government will also look into donating some acres of land, just like other states have done.
And if you have the pharmacy, it will not only be for those that are manufacturing in those states, other manufacturers.
Yes, it will bring in manufacturers even from other countries of the world. The essence of the pharma park is not just for local indigenous manufacturer alone. It has the capacity to bring in manufacturers from other countries of the world to site their factory. Just as I said, it's going to be a good source of revenue for the state itself, because
it can also create jobs.
Of course, many jobs. It can create many jobs, both from unskilled labor to skills as well as professionals. So it creates jobs of all cadres of people. Of course, when there's job, when someone has job, we know the other things are minor.
Now you can also tell you that the people from those are also eager to see this idea coming to reality.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, the last 25 minutes I've been speaking with Mr. Abiodun Ayeko, a former chairman of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria here in Ondo State, and also a fellow of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. No, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the show today.
Thank you very much, sir.
Having you.
Thank you for having me.
As I was going to be on the show today, join us on Wednesday for another one. Kunle Abiyo is my name.